What's up, everybody? Old school floating hands video here, but today I picked up a collection very local to me. It doesn't always happen, so when a good one pops up nearby, I try to grab that. But this is a collection that we're going to just go through, and I'll kind of talk you through what cards I bought and why. So for this entire collection, I paid $640, and the primary thing that attracted me here was this card. I believe that this will basically pay for the whole collection if it hits a Gem Mint 10. I do know the centering isn't absolutely perfect, though. It's shifted a little bit down into the right, but I think that I've had worse centered cards hit a PSA 10, so in my opinion, this one's worth the gamble, whether it gems or not, because of what I just described. Like, the value offset is like just immense. In addition to that, we also have a stained glass birds promo. This is a great card. I do not have a copy in my personal collection, and maybe I'll regret that over time, but I've graded a ton of these in PSA 10. I don't suspect this one will be a gem candidate because I knew upon purchasing and it had this little like divot right there. But again, we're going off of vibes here a little bit because of this guy. Again, it's not all that consequential. I think that Mewtwo will grade the PSA 10, and then anything else that's gradable from this collection will be gravy. Whatever is not gradable will transfer to positive feedbacks on my eBay store, so it's all just kind of a win-win here. But this Zygarde from Hidden Fates is a cool card. Never opened that one back when Hidden Fates was out. This card, though, from Hidden Fates used to be a $2 or $3 ultra rare, and it's now selling very quickly between $20 and $30 last I checked. Awesome sell-through on that one, and if it's gradable, that would be fantastic. Charizard EX wearing a hat, not a personal favorite of mine, but I'm sure that'll sell through relatively quickly. This card has gone absolutely nuclear. Last I checked comps, raw, it was like a $20 to $30 card. It's honestly, at that point, it might be worth considering sending, depending on what 10s are shooting for. With this type of VMAX that takes up so much of the artwork, it can be hard to tell left to right centering. So you focus down here, obviously, towards the bottom. Centering looks okay, but I am noticing a little bit of chipping. And this is all just like, I haven't pre-graded any of these cards, so I'm just pointing out whatever defects immediately jump to me. I would do a little bit more of a comprehensive check before sending anything off to PSA. Here's a Celebrations Charizard that was included in the video, or in the collection. So again, already I feel like there's like solid value by the time we even get to this guy. Centering again isn't perfect, but I don't hate Celebrations Charizard right now, considering how close we are, to the market cycling through or whatever, to another celebration. No whitening on the back, so honestly a card like this might not be terribly suited for CGC. I've seen cards with a little bit off-center on the front still get a Gem Mint 10 at CGC, so it then becomes just an analysis of whether the price difference between a PSA 9 and a Gem Mint 10 at CGC is, worth the difference in grading fees and stuff. So a small calculation we might go through. Here's a Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. This is the full art version that you could pull from a pack. Pretty popular card as well, though not as popular as the regular ultra rare. Moving right along to some evolutions, we've got a Blastoise. I can see a little bit of a divot there at the top corner. That would definitely prevent me from grading this card, but it's a Mega Blastoise, so I know it'll sell through really quickly, and I'll just mark that as like LP. Here's a Mega Lucario. Pumped about this one. I do know there's some whitening on the back of this one, not uncommon at all for these X and Y era full arts to be imperfect. That's why the PSA 10s are so expensive, but cool card nonetheless, and again, that will be a fast seller. Here is a Rayquaza GX. I think I sold my last copy of this card recently for like $15 or $20, something like that. Maybe I'll check and post it on the screen, or maybe not. I know it's OC and has a little bit of whitening though, so not a gradable card, unfortunately. But again, we're just thinking about like, in the perfect world, some of these cards will Gem Mint 10, collection will be paid for, and then everything else is just positive feedbacks and, small chips at profit. So here we have a nice Celebi. I'm trying to remember if this is from the Generations little collection boxes or whatever, like the pin collections. Comment down below if you remember more clearly than I do. I know centering's not perfect, and this probably has some whitening. Yeah, just a little bit. No worries there, though. I don't really stress too much about that because of what I mentioned earlier. Again, I know I've pointed it out several times, but I don't know. My thinking about this stuff tends to be pretty solid. So here's a Zekrom. Again, this card is selling probably $8 to $10. I know we have a few copies of cards like this, the Jolteon from Brilliant Stars. I should grab that Zekrom too, because the common thing with Brilliant Stars is going to be frayed edges. That was a huge drawback. Obviously, that one's in a deck sleeve, so we won't be able to tell. But yeah, this Zekrom has some frayed edges at the top, and this side is just dreadful. I don't know. It doesn't look as extreme on the video as it does in person, but that's pretty gnarly. And then I suspect this one does too, yeah. So that's just the name of the game with Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery cards. Very common. Here we've got a couple Cynthia cards. These might be between $5 and $10. I know trainers aren't doing too hot right now. Here we have a Charizard GX. This was from the Hidden Fates collection box and tins, both. Available in both. This card, it's like it used to be such a high gem rate, but clean raw copies are passing through my possession at least less and less. So yeah, we've got a deck sleeve on that one, so I can't pre-grade it any further, but I know centering wasn't even perfect. Here we've got a nice Radiant Eevee from Pokemon Go, cute card. So the couple that I purchased this from, they mentioned that they were collecting in the previous boom, and now they're just like kind of getting out of it. They haven't added anything to their collection in a while, though obviously they opened at least one thing from Scarlet and Violet, being this. Neat card, and I think that this probably has some whitening. Yeah, not uncommon for these. I think that was an ETB promo, or was that from the set? I don't know. Comment down below. Slowbro, Mega Slowbro EX is such a goofy card, but this one actually has a pretty high sell-through. I picked up a collection last summer with like 15 copies of this card, and they would sell like the day I listed them, and that was before all the mega hype and stuff. So here's a nice Evolutions Pidgeot full art. I love this card. Usually Evolutions grades pretty well, as I mentioned earlier. Outside of just like the hollows and reverse hollows, all of the full arts and stuff typically do fine. Here is a nice Eevee from Brilliant Stars, and I see that there are 3 of these, so pretty sweet. Let's see if they all have fraying on the back. I'm sure that they will. Yes on that one. Oh yeah, look at that. Whew. Got some stuff on that top loader as well. That's kind of gross. Okay, we'll have to get that into something fresh. So I did not pay $167 for this card, though it does have some fraying. Not sure why they wrote on that top loader. Maybe it was just someone that they bought from that had written on it previously. But here's a Vaporeon from the same set. That's a nice little trio. We've got some whitening on there, so not gradable at a glance. Love this card. So this is the Lieutenant Surge's Magnemite from Cosmic Eclipse character rare, kind of like the predecessor to the Trainer Gallery cards. I actually have a copy of this in my binder still from when I was ripping Cosmic Eclipse back in 2019. Love that one. Here's a couple Skyla cards from Shining Fates. Again, I'm assuming those are probably like a $5 to $10 card, just based on like general awareness of full art trainers. Here's the Vaporeon to complete this set. Pretty cool card. We do have that same edge fraying though, so not a gradable card, but it's whatever. Not really banking on that stuff too heavily. There's a Flannery. We've got a Mew VMAX. Based on what the Snorlax is doing, this card is probably somewhere around 15 to, I would say the upper range would probably be $30, and there's no whitening on this card, so as long as centering is good, this might be a grading candidate. Looks like we might be a little heavy on the right, but you know, it's uncommon for cards to be perfect. Here's a Marnie's Pride. This card actually looks pretty well centered. I don't remember what this one's from. Was this from that like milk carton collection box? Comment down below if you remember. We can't check out the back because it's in a penny sleeve, but those are just some neat ones. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool collection. I think that I might try to make more videos of this nature where it's just me showing off cards that I picked up. I've got a few more stacks of cards that I could definitely rummage through and show you guys real quick, but maybe I'll save those for another one. Comment down below if you enjoyed this type of video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.